We are creating our reality. Look around you. Everything you see, you brung into your reality. You've been doing it your whole life. This is what they didn't want to tell us, but now the cat's out the bag. Now you know it. You create your reality. To prove you create your reality and you attract NPCs to fill up that reality, go to a park. Go to a park on a Tuesday. Go to a park on a Tuesday when everybody's supposed to be at work or school. Nobody's going to be at the park. 10 minutes later, 2 people come to the park. Then 4 people. I'm talking about on a Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. when everybody's supposed to be at work or school. You was the only person at that park. Now it's 20 people at the park. Now you have to leave. And no matter where you go, you always attract people. I used to think that all of these people was gang stalkers, but it's deeper than that. We create our reality. And when we create our reality, it gets filled up with NPCs. A lot of these people don't even know what's going on. They don't even know why they checked into the gym that you checked into. You attracted them. You hearing what I'm saying? You attracted everything around you, everything you see. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Before I start this video, I want to thank everybody that like, comment, share, and subscribe. I see it. God see it. Blessings to you in your situations. Just in case you don't make it to the end of the video, I wanted to thank you now. Thank you. And I mean that.
You can play mind games on somebody, but if you're going to play mind games on them, they can't be aware of those mind games, or those mind games are not going to work. See, red car, look, but it didn't drive all the way down here because they don't want you to see. They know I'm recording. Nobody ever come down this road because this bridge is broken. Nobody can go down. There's a sign in the beginning of the road saying "Do not cross." Those, you see this little orange thing right here? These are on both sides of the road. They moved them out the way just to drive down this road, just to drive down here so they can drive around me and make me feel anxious and nervous. If they provoke you with that, remember that is conditioned stimulus. That's my conditioned stimulus.
For me, it'd be police sirens, just to be transparent, and chemtrails. It's making me think of how quickly the cars are responding to her and how she herself is experiencing it as if there are direct responses to certain thoughts and feelings that the cars or their drivers or the people responsible or whoever or whatever algorithms are responsible for the cars ultimately being there are very in tune with her movements, or maybe even
What's happening is she's creating reality. She's going to a place where people not. Just like I said, people don't supposed to be where she's at. But now she look around and there's people there. And Father, forgive them for they don't know what they doing, because a lot of them don't. I looked in their eyes. A lot of them are NPCs. They don't even know why they need to come around you. This is what's tripping her out. She's starting to see level 1 gang stalking. She's starting to see the simulation, the loop. She's starting to see that people are NPCs. You hear what I'm saying? And wherever we go, we can go to Antarctica right now. And in 2 weeks, it's going to be 1,000 NPCs there. We can go to the moon. And in about 2 weeks, it'll be 50,000 NPCs on the moon. They'll just come from out of nowhere, because we create reality and then we fill that reality up with NPCs. You hear what I'm saying? You see, the programmers, they know this. So they try to interfere and they send their programmed NPCs and low vibers and serpent seeds into the reality that we create. So some of these people, they are gang stalkers. They do know what they're doing. They do go to the gym or your school or your church or move on your block just to monitor you. They do get paid. They are under contract. But that's very few people. The majority of people that's filling up your reality, that's coming around you, they're NPCs and they don't even know why they coming around you.
Responding to her in the same way that I put that video up the other day on my page about how chemtrails always start across the sun when I'm working with the sun. At first I didn't know what to do with it. This video makes me really, I love this. Between this and the guy breaking down all the Tartarian architecture, tomorrow when I go outside, it's gonna be a very fun day because I'm gonna be seeing everything. I did an experiment one day in my hometown. Early on getting my powers too as an adult. We were in my friend's car at the river, a place where we would always go to hang out. And I started working with the sun, making it glow brighter and stuff like that. And then chemtrails would start across it. And I told my friends, I said, look, and then I showed them it happening. And then I said, okay, now let's drive real fast to another part of town. We drove over to Barclay Street and we're looking up, and then there's no chemtrails. Now, from this angle, which in the same town, this small town, but from a different street, now we can't even see the chemtrails that just went across the sky, which lets you know how local all of this is. No matter how much scientists try to make it seem like it's millions of miles away, that experiment proves that it's local. But from that angle, I'm like, okay, now watch again. And I did it and brightened it again, and the chemtrails started again from the new angle. I said, y'all. And they're like, yo, bro, nah, you got that. Like, that is weird. For real, that's weird. It's undeniably strange and obviously responding to you.
Speaking of chemtrails, leading up to the X marks the spot eclipse, remember, I think it was 2024 where we was going to have an eclipse and it was going to make an X. The first part of the X came in 2017, and it was going to make the complete X across the US in 2024. I think it was 2024 that happened. Well, speaking of chemtrails, leading up to that for about 8 months, they will put an X over everywhere I go. And I seen videos about them writing X's in the sky with their chemtrails. At first, the chemtrails will be lines, and they'll turn into these fake clouds. But leading up to the big eclipse, where it was going to put an X over America, everywhere I go, even the place that I'm at right now, every morning I wake up, it'll be X's in the sky right over me, right over one of my guys. There's people who reported that. I'm one of them. I feel like they was in the sky. I know this sounds crazy, but I feel like they was putting an X over all of the chosen ones. I know that sounds crazy. Don't record it. It's just something I think. But I ain't lying, man. And all of a sudden, they just stopped doing the X's in the sky. I always had an X over me.
We gotta get into this motherfucking gateway program, dog. I've been having flashbacks and shit. You been to that program? Do you remember the little pink shit they used to make motherfuckers drink? Or the little tablet and shit they made motherfuckers eat? How they come and check certain motherfuckers' spines, see if they had scoliosis and shit like that back in the day at school? The motherfucking hearing test, where they put the motherfucking headphones on you to make all the beeps and all that crazy shit. You remember that shit, dog?
Hey, look, it looked like he got the earphones on right now. He made this video 18 hours ago. Yeah, I think it was 18 hours ago he made this video. You see, everybody is starting to get their memories back. They was erasing our memories with the food, with the different flashes in the TV. Yeah, they've been erasing our memory. But now we're back online so we can remember all of that. Let me read a couple of his comments. One comment reads, I see a lot of y'all have the ear ringing thing. It annoys me and it happens out of nowhere. I am going to start documenting everything. Okay, I thought the hearing test was a regular exercise at 8. 38 years later, ears still ringing. Yeah, that wasn't an ear test. That was a frequency test to see if we could pick up different frequencies that the average person can't. You know, dogs can hear certain frequencies that a human can't hear. There's frequencies going on. There are sounds that's real loud to people that could hear those sounds, those frequencies. They're going on right now. And they was seeing, could we pick up those frequencies? They knew who we were the whole time, man. And he called it the Gateway Program. Like I said, this is the Gateway Program. They used us to bring in hell. The movies, the music, the disease, the violence. You hear what I'm saying? This is real deep right here. Let me show you something real quick. This tripped me out. The first time I heard it was with Dr. Delbert Blair. And I said this on this page a couple of times. The 1111 the 1111 portal. It happened November 11th, 2011. If you go back to November 11th, 2011, and you add the last two numbers of the year you was born with the age you would be in 2011, you would come up with 111, 111. So if you was born in 1995, you would have been 16 years old in 2011. And that's 111. 95 plus 16 is 111. If you was born in 1970, in 2011, you would have turned 41 years old. So that's 70 plus 41, which is 111. Let me do another one. If you was born in 1942, you would have been 69 years old in 2011. 42 plus 69 is 111. But here's when it changed. If you was born in 2000, the year 2000 and after, on November 11th, 2011, your number would have been 11. Remember, we going back to Stranger Things, 11, L. If you was born in 2003, you would have been 8 years old in 2011. 8 plus 3 is 11. If you was born in 09, you would have been 2 years old in 2011. 9 plus 2 is 11, and so on and so forth. 11. Let me show you. See, the 11s are the ones on a different program. We are on a program of death, sex, monsters, evilness, wickedness. Yes, me and you, we are. That's why they use the monster energy logo. You see, this is 111 also. Monster energy is 111. They also use Adidas logo. This is 111. You see, the Adidas logo represents the end of the 111 during the 9/11. This is 9/11 right here. These are the two towers that fell in that little one. Remember, it was 3 towers that fell. Look, they're falling this way like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Do you see what I see? Do you see the 111? See, those are 3 lines. But it's also the 2 towers and that little tower. The little tower that they really don't talk about. Because it was 3 towers that fell. So 9/11 was the ending of this 111 program. So the year 2000 was actually Y2K. Remember, right before the year 2000 came, they was talking about Y2K. It was going to restart everything. Everything was going to restart. The whole program, the whole system was going to restart. And what movie came out? The Matrix. It came out 1999. About a year and a half, or probably 2 years before this Adidas symbol, this logo right here, became a reality. I just told you what that is. You could fold up the $20 bill and you could see it in a $20 bill. They put it all in our face. You hear what I'm saying? You see, this system is dead. They've been running on fumes this whole time. This is really the system. The new earth is for 11s. You hear what I'm saying? This is why Stranger Things, they named her 11. This is why they named her L. This is why she had the powers. This is why she was in the Gateway program. We are in the Gateway program because we was giving birth to the L's. The 11s, your child, right now. They're not born under the same rules that we were born under. You see, we were born in a system that says it's easy to take candy from a baby. They're not born in that system. You can't trick these children no more. They're not children like we was children. When my mother was born, a lot of babies was born with veils over their eyes. It used to take a little while before the baby could even open up their eyes. Now the babies are born with teeth. These damn babies is born with their eyes all the way open. They already know. They can't be tricked because all of these babies, starting from 2000, a different you know what I'm talking about, man. This is why the GATE program, this is why we waking up. I'm sorry to say, we are under the program of the monster of sex. Look, okay, let's take Adidas. All day I dream about not SR. Look. Sex all day in daddy's apartment. All day I dream about. You see what I'm saying? We come from a program of lust and greed and filth. We do. And we're cursed with death because the wages of sin is death, but not the new ones, not the 11s. And who are the 11s? The ones that was born after the Matrix came out. The ones who was born under the new program. You hear what I'm saying? I said a lot, huh? Let me let this guy finish talking.
Oh, the motherfucking cards with the shapes on them motherfuckers. The motherfucking ink, the ink shit, where you look at it and you're like, what do you see when you look at this picture? Y'all remember that shit? The IQ test and all that shit when we was little ass kids, dog. And now I'm seeing that some people are remembering that shit, and they say they having some of the same shit that I be having. They remember things or know things. They don't know how they know this shit. We've been thinking it's downloads and all that shit. They having all these spiritual awakenings. They can see shit from different dimensions. Psychic abilities and shit. Yeah. If you know, you motherfucking know, dog. If you know, you know. That shit is crazy. Boy, shit is crazy. I can't get real too deep about the motherfuckers, boy. They know all the kids, dog. The kids from the 80s, the 70s, the 90s. I never thought about the shit why they didn't get everybody out the class. Only a few of us. And did all these motherfucking tests and shit. People say they can interact with different beings. A lot of us have sleep paralysis and shit like that. It's crazy work, dog. It's crazy work. Just earlier this morning, I started having flashbacks of the shit.
See?
I remember that motherfucking pink shit that they made us drink, dog. And I remember that motherfucking little tablet shit that we had to motherfucking eat. I remember that shit. I remember it. And
we're all gonna start remembering it. You want to hear something sad? Just the other day, I had a memory. It came with a smell. You see, we're going to start unlocking these memories with smells, different foods, different things that we forgot. It came with a smell. I smelled this smell, and it smelled like the back of the church. I don't remember the person. I can't see the face, but I know that this person was older than me. And I used to go in the back of the church, and that person used to touch me. A lot of these memories we forgot because they was too traumatic. We wanted to forget some of these memories. And the other memories, they erased from our mind, but we're getting them all back. Another part of the gate, I'm going to call it the gateway program, like he said. Another part of the gateway program is SSI. Because once they figured out who these chosen ones was, these ones with the gifts, remember, if we got the gifts, that means that our children are going to be the 11s. All of the chosen ones who was in the gate program, if you have a child, that child is an 11. They didn't want you to have that child. It wasn't even really about us. Now it kind of was, but it's about the children now. These children are going to levitate because they're going to live in a world without the parasites. But let me tell you about SSI. Once they realized who the chosen ones was, they started offering the parents money for our mind and our powers. They said, yeah, we see that there's something wrong with little Billy. He was in the gate program, and these tests, it really didn't match up. You could go to the doctor right now, go to a psychiatrist, and you could get $800 a month. And they telling this to parents who live in the projects. Back then in the 70s and in the 80s and the 90s, $850. Some kids was getting $1,000 from SSI, but you had to take the medication. You see, that medication turns you from an 11 to a 0. You know how many chosen ones got their powers taken from them by the doctors, the medication, and they was given a SSI check in return? SSI in the 80s, especially in the 90s, they was giving that shit away up in the ghetto. You could just go and you can apply and you can get it in 3 months and you can get on Section 8. All of that was for The people in the GATE program, the Gateway program.
I'm sure there's more shit too that I'm gonna end up remembering. The shit starting to come back. And it's creepy as a motherfucker. If you have any of these memories, put the shit in the comments, dog. But be careful with what the fuck you say. And the abilities that you might have. Be careful about how you put that shit in the comments. Be careful. Because they know us, dog. They got all of us documented. That's a big fact. And I know some of you motherfuckers remember.
Check it. You ever had somebody distance themselves because you're weird or tell you that you're too weird for them? That's the trash taking itself out. That's what makes being weird a boundary. And it's a passive boundary at that, meaning it'll do the work for you. All you got to do is activate it. All you got to do is embrace your weirdness and let the chips fall where they may. So at the end of the day, stay fucking weird. Check it.
There's no such thing as weird. Weird is when you express yourself outside of your tribe. Like I said, a little person would be weird around a lot of people who's 6 feet tall. But that little person is not weird around 10 other little people. They can express themselves. The words that are coming out of my mouth is weird to people that's not vibing on this level. So when I say these words to people that's vibing lower, I'm weird. But the moment I say these words to people who vibe high, I become a genius. So there's no such thing as weird. Be yourself. And if a person call you weird, that's just them saying, we're not from the same tribe. You ain't got to get mad at them. Look, you could be weird to some person and a genius to the next. You know what I'm talking about. I just repeated myself, huh?
Look closely. Tell me why the most famous faces of today have faces that already existed. Not random people, not farmers, not workers, not your ancestors. Only the powerful, only the influential, only the people whose faces you see every day. Presidents, royalty, celebrities, empire builders. You go back hundreds of years and somehow there are portraits, paintings, statues, not of normal people, of them. And the craziest part, they don't just look similar. They carry the same presence, the same stare, the same posture of authority. It's like history keeps recycling the same avatars, and no one asks why. You try to find a historical look-alike of yourself. You won't, because nobody painted you, nobody documented you. You didn't matter to the system.
Hold on. He just said that you wouldn't find a painted document of yourself because you didn't matter. Scratch that. If you're one of the chosen, listen, this is why I don't pray to the ancestors. Now, the ancestors is real. We have powerful ancestors, but guess what? We are those powerful ancestors. We came back. The chosen ones, I'm talking about the real chosen ones. I'm not talking about people who just get on here and just ride the wave. I'm talking about the real chosen ones. You was always somebody in every simulation. You participated in every simulation. Some chosen ones only came at the end of every simulation. Some chosen ones came at the beginning of simulations. But we was in all of the simulations, and I heard that we all looked like we always looked. So in the Vatican right now, there is a painting of one of the chosen ones. There's a painting of me. I don't want to sound arrogant or nothing like that. It is probably not a painting of me, okay? I'll put it on somebody else. I'm just a regular guy. Okay? But there's important people. Let's say young Pharaoh. No matter what he say, no matter what he believe in this simulation, he is a somebody. He is. And he was in all of the simulations just like how he was, and he looked the same way. He probably had an afro in the last simulation, a flat top in the simulation before that, a bald head like a monk in the simulation before that. And now he looked like young Pharaoh in this simulation with the dreads, but his facial features, the paintings, this is what I'm saying, the Tartaria paintings and all of the shit that they stole, they have paintings that look like us. Now, not everybody. I'm gonna skip this video because he just said something I don't agree with, man.
In the Matrix, they talk about humans being literal viruses to the earth. But what if they weren't talking about all of humanity as a whole? What if they were talking about specific people? In the Matrix, they talk about humans being...
See, I talk about this. I said, what if we are microscopic inside of a body? And in that same world, like you look around, you see people, trees, animals, insects. That same world, this same world lives inside of you. And inside of the people that lives inside of you have this same world inside of them. And it just keeps going on and on and on. So at the same time, you are a giant and you're microscopic. And inside of these bodies, you have different viruses and parasites. If we were microscopic, if this whole world was microscopic and we was looking at it through a microscope, then we would see that these elites are parasites and viruses. No, not everybody on this planet is a virus, but we have been invaded by a virus. And somebody told me that the elite is AIDS. They're AIDS, but big AIDS. You hear what I'm saying? They do the same thing that HIV AIDS do. They come and break down the whole system. You hear what I'm saying? So yeah, some people on this earth is viruses, but not all. But we have become immune to this virus, these parasites. That's what they are parasites.
At first glance, this looks like maintenance footage. But once you realize what the building is, it changes the context of everything around it. At first glance,
it reads, attention, there are prison cells underground. Yes, they have cities underground. And the prison cells, you see, some people believe that those prison cells are for the humans under there, the food. And yes, they have human food under there, but that's not what the prison cells are for. The prison cells are for the monsters. Because under there, they also create monsters that, you know, the fallen angels, they never stopped doing what they was doing. They still got the hybrids, the chupacabras. They still got the vampires and the werewolves. They still got the draconian reptilians, the ones who can't be tamed, the Jeffrey Dahmer type that are just come on the streets and just get to eating people. Some of these serial unalivers are them. They have an appetite in their reptilian brain. Its own. That shit is vibrating. They are literal dinosaurs. And they'll put them on the street. You know that guy who took out those college students? Those 4 college students? He just got sentenced last year. Look in his face. See, he's one of them people that'll be up under there. Remember, you have humans working under there. You have different types of species working underground. And some of they ass need to be locked up like the Juggernaut. Or he'd get out and he'd just destroy a lot of them. I heard stories about that. Some of these creatures getting free and taking out a lot of people before they locked it down. These secret underground bases and stuff. They got all types of alien entities under there. So, I've heard people say that those jail cells up under there. Let me see. Let me play it again. I heard people say that those cells up under there, those prison cells up under there, are for the meat, for the cattle, the humans, all of that. That's for the hybrids, man. The humans, they don't need to put them up in prison cells. They attach them to different IVs. Some humans are kept alive because they need the blood. Some humans are tortured. Some humans are just turned into food immediately. But there's no use in having a jail cell under there. The jail cell is for them. All of them jail cells right there is for them. The reptilian prisons. You know, they say that the celebrities, they fake their deaths. Jeffrey Dahmer faked his death. All of that Jeffrey Dahmer getting taken out in prison and all of that was fake. He got sent to one of these places. Jeffrey Dahmer is still alive. All of this is allegedly. This whole video is allegedly. I don't know what I'm talking about. All praises to the Most High. Thank you to everybody that like, comment, share, and subscribe. I see it. God see it. Blessings to you in your situations. Peace.